Hey guys, Mike here, and we're out in the workshop with Brutal Blade, the Brutal Blades workshop. Some of you guys have seen some of my work already, some of you haven't. Today I'm working on a piece for another YouTuber by the name of Rusty Cage. You probably know him better as the guy who did the Knife Game song, although I'm sure he despises that title. Sorry Rusty, that's what you're known for, man. Anyways, I'm getting ready to put a handle on a new blade I'm working on for him as well. It's a small camp knife made of 1095 high carbon steel. And let me go ahead and turn this light on real quick. You can see it's got a forged finish. I'm going to leave the forged finish on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a high grit sanding belt on. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. That'll come later, and then we're going to put the handle on afterwards. But first things first, we got to get this handle cut out. For handle material, I'm using a piece of poplar. I like poplar because of the grain structure on it. It generally has a really pretty color, as well as a really nicely defined grain, and it's also a really damn good wood for just about any kind of purpose. So first things first, I've got my shape drawn out in pencil. I need to go to a pen. I'm using cheap Sharpie marker. And this will just give me a little more clear line to cut to. I mean, I already know my dimensions on it and everything, but I prefer to be safer rather than sorry and screw something up. And this is all rough because it's just a traced outline, and it's going to get refined on the sanding belt, but I like to do all this in advance. It just makes working a lot easier. Now there are more accurate ways to do this. You could use a bandsaw. I'm going to use a little jigsaw. That's what I have available to me. So alright, first things first, we got to put on our goggles, our glasses, whatever, because I don't want to hear anybody saying, oh, well, I put my eye out. You're a dumbass. You should have put on a pair of glasses. Anybody who's had to sit in a surgeon's chair and have a piece of metal removed from their eye, or a piece of wood or whatever removed from their eye, can tell you, wear a damn pair of glasses. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut to our line. You can see a little jigsaw made quick work of what I was trying to do. We're going to do the same thing on the other side of the scale. Damn poplar turns into powder when you're cutting it. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. And We've got our pieces all scaled out, ready to go. Alright, now I got to cut this other one off, and then we'll take it over here, sand it down, get it ready for staining, get it ready for final fit and finish and all that. This is actually the fastest part of the process for me. Some people take a lot longer on their handles, but this is the easy part for me. Okay, now there's a bunch of different schools of thought here. Poplar being a really light wood, you can pretty much go through and pop all these little teeth we've cut out, which is really nice. Makes this work a lot faster. It's another reason I like poplar. It's a tough wood, but it's very brittle. So don't let that fool you about it. It can be very brittle at times. So when you're working with it, you need to give it a good stain when you're done, just so that way the grain structure absorbs the stain, and also it pops the color out a lot better. Okay, so we got that all done. Now we're going to move on to, quite frankly, what I think is the most essential piece of gear for any knife maker, the belt sander. Most guys use a 2x72. I couldn't afford one. I got a 4x36. It works. It's loud, but it works. It is hot as hell here today. It is hot as hell here today. I live in southeast Arkansas, and that's where my shop is, obviously. So, anytime we get a really nasty thunderstorm or anything like that, it cranks the humidity way up through the roof, and it just makes life kind of almost unbearable out here in the shop. But I actually enjoy doing this, so it's not too bad. point now where you got to change belts out. On mine, it's really simple. You crank the lever up, take your belt off. I think we're going to start out at 220. Just going to take some of this discoloration off the blade. So we've got the handles cut out. Now the next step is I've got a hole. I'm just doing a decorative rivet because these are going to be epoxied on. I've just got a decorative rivet on there for now. That's all I'm going to do is a decorative side. I'm not worried about its actual structure. The epoxy I use, JB Weld. I'm not sponsored by them. Under full disclosure law, I would have to tell you if I was, which I think is bullshit. But I'm in no way sponsored by fucking anybody. And I don't claim to be the official bladesmith of Rusty Cage or anything like that. I just so happen to have made him one, and I'm working on another one. So I'm in no way, shape, or form affiliated with or friggin' paid by. My money comes from selling knives, okay? So if you want to see more videos like this, damn. You want to see more videos like this, subscribe, help me grow this channel, and I'll crank out as many videos as I can for you guys. But it'd be nice if my drill would unlock. Don't buy cheap tools, guys. Spend the money. Spend the money to get yourself something nice that's going to work well for you all the time. Something you don't have to fight. I may not be doing a decorative rivet after all, because I'm not going to tear my hands up. I'll have to take that apart later, get that fixed. Oh well. You guys will get to see me mix up and epoxy this on now then, I guess. And then I'll have to wait 24 hours and I'll be back out here tomorrow doing the same thing, basically. Attaching these handles. Get our epoxy and get cranking, I guess. I wasn't going to do this today, but seeing as how my drill doesn't want to work with me, I guess that's what we're going to do. Ah, lovely. Working with JB Weld is extremely messy. I recommend investing in plenty of shop towels, things of that nature, so that way you don't get it all over your hands, all over your clothes. Which, I mean, if you're doing this for money, you're going to have plenty of what I call throwaways, which are outfits you don't care if they get dirty. I've got plenty of them, so just pour out a little dollop of it on your mixing board or whatever you want to use. I'm using an old piece of steel. I pour out a small bit, about the size of a quarter for my American viewers. I don't know much about foreign currency, so I can't relate that to anything else. Sorry. Sorry. I wish I did. You'll stir this stuff together until it gets a really nice gray color and it's evenly mixed in. Once it's evenly mixed, I recommend applying it directly to the blade as well as to the handle. It does not take a whole lot. Very little amount. That's all it takes. Just enough to give a light coat on the tang. A light coat on the wood is more than sufficient. I've been doing this for several years, and I've found that sometimes with JB Weld especially, less is more, because if you get too much on there, it just leaks out everywhere and becomes a real hassle for your work area. It can be a pain in the butt to get off clothes, as I was saying earlier. More than that, it's a real pain in the butt to get off of your work materials. So less is more, good rule of thumb. I gave a pretty good liberal coating to the tang portion of the blade, so I don't need to coat my wood, thankfully. The only risk you really run with JB Weld is it can, when you're doing your cleanup on your handle, it can get too hot and separate. But if you're patient, and you take your time and you cool down the wood and the handle while you're doing it, you should have no issues. I mean, I've been using it for going on 3-4 years on these knives, or however long I've been doing it, and I have yet to have a problem. I think I've had one knife separate in several years of use of this stuff. So, I mean, like I said, as long as you're diligent, you should have absolutely no problems. You clean up your squeeze off, your excess right here on the edges of your wood. Thankfully this time I have very minimal amount. Alright, we're going to let that sit up for 24 hours. I'll come back out here tomorrow and post another video for you guys. Sorry this took so long. I really didn't think it would. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and keep watching. Keep your eyes out. There will be more videos coming. Peace.